Welcome back to my channel, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. Today I am sharing another delicious crockpot recipe. This is a crockpot pizza dip recipe. Super delicious, fun to put together, and perfect for a crowd. So today I'm actually using my smaller crockpot. I very rarely use this, but this particular recipe fits perfectly in it. For this recipe, you're going to need some Italian seasoning, a jar of pizza sauce, Parmesan cheese, a mozzarella and provolone blend of shredded cheese, mini pepperonis, a block of Philadelphia cream cheese, fresh basil, and then optional to serve on the side is sliced bread. So let me show you how to put this one together. I believe this crockpot is a 1.5 quart, so it's much smaller than your average crockpot, but it works just the same. It has the same insert and it has both a low and a high setting. We're going to set our bread and our basil to the side. We don't need that until just before serving. We're going to start off by crisping up our mini pepperoni, and I'm just using a cast iron skillet. I cooked these over medium heat for 4 to 5 minutes and just crisped them slightly. It adds a really great flavor to this appetizer dish and only takes a couple minutes. This dip is really easy to put together. It's basically a dump and go recipe. So first off, I'm adding 8 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese. And I like to let it soften a little bit before adding, but it's not necessary. Next, we're going to add 2 cups of a mozzarella blend. I really like using this mozzarella and provolone blend. I think it just works wonderfully, but whatever mozzarella blend you have on hand will work fine. So 2 cups of that. Then we're going to add a heaping 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. For some flavor, to make this taste just like pizza, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And then 1 jar of your favorite pizza sauce. Like I said, this dip is really easy to put together and you could easily double it for a larger crowd. The last step is to add in your pepperoni. Make sure not to add any of the extra grease that cooked off of it, but just scrape these right into your crock pot, and then all we have left to do is mix this up. Another great thing about this recipe is that it comes together really quickly. This melts in just under 2 hours, so you don't have to let it cook all day, and you can easily prep this in advance. Once you mix this all together, it doesn't look like anything special, but I promise once all that cheese blends together, it is so good. Pop the lid on and you want to turn this on low, and like I said, just let it go for 2 hours. There are a few different things that you can serve on the side with this dip, but I particularly love bell peppers and toasted bread. So I had a bunch of different colored bell peppers, yellow, orange, red, and green. So I sliced these into thin strips. You can also serve this with naan bread or tortilla chips. Those are 2 other really great options, especially if you're bringing this dip for a crowd. I've made this dip a couple different times for family gatherings, and it's always a huge hit. You can also do this step in advance if you have any veggies you want to cut up and just wrap them and put them in the fridge. Right before you're ready to serve, you want to take your bread slices. I just got a really inexpensive loaf of bread from my grocery store, and I lay the slices out on a cookie tray and put them under the broiler on low for just a couple minutes. I also really like the addition of fresh basil. It adds a wonderful freshness and kind of brightens everything up. So this is definitely optional, but I highly recommend the basil. Once the first side of your bread is slightly toasted, go ahead and flip those over and then pop them in to toast the second side for just a couple more minutes. Once your mixture is all melted, take your lid off and it will smell exactly like a pizza. Give this a really good stir. Make sure you get all of the cheese incorporated. And then what I love to do with this smaller crock pot is put the entire liner on a big cutting board. It makes for a beautiful presentation. I love to add this fresh basil on top for a garnish. And then look how cute this was. To make serving easier for your family or guests, add some ramekins or small bowls next to the dip, as well as individual serving spoons, and it makes it easier for everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here, I would love for you to hit that red subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. I'll see you in the next video.